Hello everyone, Shigbeard here, and today we're just going to be going over a quick tutorial on how to add avatar scale options to your avatar when uploaded to VRChat. You need to be using the VRC SDK 3.0 for avatars. You can download that from the VRChat website. You need to be logged in first, of course, but it's pretty easy to get the files. Now, to start off with, we're going to need a model that doesn't have the avatar scales. So I've got this one that I've downloaded from VRC Mods, which is May Hatsume from My Hero Academia. As you can see, it's already pretty much well configured. We've got the avatar descriptor. We've already got an avatar pipeline manager script that's been added. So this has already been uploaded to VRChat 4. Everything's all set up, but we don't have scale options, and that's unacceptable. So let's fix that. So the way avatar scale options work in VRChat is that we need 3 items. We need a set of animations, we need an animation controller that's attached to the FX layer, and we need to have the expressions menu and parameters updated to match the values we put into our animation controller. So let's start by looking over at our animation controller. We already know that we're using FX May, but we won't be able to make any changes to any animations until we add it to the main Animator Controller. So let's just quickly take that and put it on the controller. We will be removing that off of there later. Head over to the Animator, and you should be able to select FX May. You can just double click that if you don't have the animator up. Now, we need to add a parameter. So you hit on the parameters, hit this little plus icon, and hit float. Name this one scale. Remember what you name this one. It can be named anything, but you need to remember what you name it. So for this tutorial, we're going to call it scale. Head over to layers, create a new layer, and call it scale. Again, name it anything you want, but remember what it's called. Adjust its weight by hitting the gear icon and setting it to 1. Right-click on any empty space here. Click on Create State from New Blend Tree. Click on this blend tree and name it Scale. Double-click on this blend tree. Click on the new blend tree that appears here, this grey one, and call it Scale. Ensure that the parameter is set to the parameter that you set over here. It must be the same parameter. Given this avatar is very simple and does not have a lot of custom animations or effects on it, this parameter is the only applicable parameter because it can only select floats. These are integers, obviously. So now that we have our scale, we need to add animation. So come out of the animator for a bit, click on May, and click on Animation. If you don't have this animation window, you can actually find it here. Control 6 is the key shortcut to open it. So we have a bunch of options here, but we want to create a new clip. So create a new clip, and we want to name it Avatar Big or Scale Big. Do the same thing again. Do scale small. Do the same thing again. Scale normal. You can skip the scale normal step, but I will add some details as to why you want to not do that later on. So let's start with scale big. Select that as your current clip that you're working with. Make sure you're selected the avatar root, not the armature, not the body, not the gear, not anything else, just the root. Hit the record button. Go to your avatar's scale and set it to your desired scale. So let's say 2. I want 2. Disable keyframe recording, so hit the record button, then hit the preview button. The avatar scale has reset to 1, but if you look over here, the scale has been set to 2 in the animation. Let's head over to normal. Now, because we're not actually making any changes to the scale here, another way you can add the property is by clicking Add Property, hitting this arrow, clicking plus next to scale. But then it adds 2 keyframes, so we need to delete the keyframe at the end. You hit the top one there and it gets all 3 of them, or all 4 of them at once. So there we go, that one's done. And scale small, again, just hit the record button, put it to the scale that you want for your smallest. So let's say I want 0.3. Okay, end recording, end preview. And now we have 0.3. So how do we get these animations onto the animation controller? Well, that's pretty simple. Head over to the animator again. You should still have the same window open. Click on your scale and hit the plus button here. Add motion field and do this 3 times. Now you have 3 blank motion fields. With the top one, you want to pick your smallest size. So select your smallest motion. Here, scale small. Here, you want your normal size, so scale normal. And here, we want scale big. So now we can close that. Now, here's where you can be a little bit fancy. Let's say you want to adjust your scale so the sliding scale is a bit more linear towards one direction, or that it's faster to, there's more space to be smaller than it is to be bigger, so to speak. You just untick Automate Thresholds and adjust this number here until you're happy with. So let's say we want our normal size to be somewhere closer to small. So let's go 0.3. Then we hit enter. And you see how this is all changed. If we drag this little red arrow, we can actually see here how it changes. See how it's highlighted normal at 30% and highlighted big at 100%. See how quickly it changes if I slide it along here. So that's just one example of how you can adjust it. We do not want to adjust any of this or any of this. So now that that's set up, make sure this is back at 0. And we need to head back to our scene and select May, our avatar. Remove the avatar controller. So let's revert that to none. Or the animator controller, I should say. Make sure that your animation controller is attached here. But now we need to adjust our menu and our parameters. So let's go over to Project. And let's go to Menu. These are our parameters and our menu. So let's go over to parameters real quick. Add a new parameter. Give it the same name as you had in your animation parameters. So right here, scale. And it's a float, so make sure it's type float. And let's set our default to what our 1.0 will be, which is our threshold was 0.3. So we put it at 0.3 and that's our normal size. We go over to the expression menu. We need to add a control. We will call this one scale, if I can type. Make sure the type is set to radial puppet. Set the parameter rotation to scale. And you're done. Leave the parameter blank. We now have a fully functional avatar that can be scaled. From here on, just go to VRChat, go to your builder, and you can build and test. So while we wait for that to load, we can open up VRChat. All right, so here we are, VRChat. Let's load the avatar. So here we are in front of a mirror. See our scale here, that's at 30% as we set it. If I adjust scale, boom, or I can bring it all the way up to its largest. Now, you probably already noticed that while I can adjust the size of my avatar, I can't adjust where my head position is. And that's because of I want to say, oversight by VRChat. Rather, they don't expect you to adjust your avatar scale once you're in-game. Now, if you have third-party tools which are not permitted under VRChat's terms of service, you can adjust your viewport automatically using a mod known as size go brr or scale go brr. Like I said, though, it's against the terms of service to use mods or third-party client in VRChat, so use at your own risk. This tutorial is provided as is, no warranty or guaranteed or slide, yada yada yada, legal speak. Basically, if you get banned, it's not my fault. I'm just showing you how to add something to your avatar. Now, of course, once you've got the scale settings the way you like them, you can then upload that to your profile, and then you can access them like any other avatar, like one that I made, or rather one that I set up earlier. I can go expressions, body, avatar scale, whoop, whoop. But yeah, if you don't have the mod, you're going to be seeing this. A little bit glitchy. And that's it. So, if you want to add a more complicated animation, there is no restriction on how many motion fields you add here. However, the one restriction that does exist is that VRChat will only give a scale between 0 and 1 for your float. So 1 is your maximum setting, 0 is your minimum setting. So all of your values need to sit between 0 and 1. But remember, 0 and 1 only matters in terms of this sliding scale. The actual scale is set by the animations themselves. You could theoretically also make it so that one of these animations toggles a set of seats on the avatar. So at your biggest size, you've suddenly got seats. Your smaller size, all the seats aren't available. But that's entirely done by animation, toggling on and off triggers. So that's that. If you like this tutorial, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. I'm not planning on doing a lot of tutorials, but yeah, if you like my content, like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, subscribe to my Patreon, donate to me on WhatsApp. install the FBI hacked mainframe database. I don't know, I'm being stupid. You don't have to subscribe to me or like my channel at all.